Hello folks, how you doing? And welcome to our channel and another historical read. This time we're going to be looking at the secret life of Prince Philip. Now, at the time of filming, dust in the desk, there is a lot of information coming out in relation to the secret life of Prince William and the true state of his marriage. Now, I remember just after he died, and I did a reading. And there are many readings you do on here, and you forget about them. But there's also readings that I do that really stick with me, or moments within those readings that really stick with me. And it was just after he died, and it came up in the reading that he had a secret family, or secret families, secret children, secret grandchildren. He had a whole different life to him and the late Queen. And I remember coming across it in the card, and it was so obvious what was going on. And it was like he just died. People were in a very different place back then. Okay, let me just check my. No, just take that off. People were in a very different place back then. And there was a kickback with that video, like there is with a lot of stuff, when the truth comes up and people are not willing or ready to face it because they have been sold a narrative. And here we are, a few years after that, where it is now openly shared that he did have secret children. And it was a podcast I came across the other day, just was looking through social media as you do. And they were openly discussing the fact that he had at least two illegitimate children. And I was like, oh my God. I think it was Andrew Lowney. I mean, he's done a lot of research, and I do trust him. Um, and he wouldn't go further with it because he said he's planning another book, and I don't blame him, to be quite honest. Because I think we need to know. I think we need to know this. We're on an evolution at the minute, and you get to choose. You either stay where you are or you come with us. Choice is yours. And it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing to face. Um, all of these things that are coming up and where we sit with that. But it also reminded me of another book I've read recently where um, towards the end of his life, he had a separate life to the Queen totally. She lived at Windsor, he lived at Sandringham until COVID, and then he moved to Windsor. But they had this weird setup where sometimes she, the Queen, would have watched the telly on an afternoon with Prince Philip and his mistress. And that was a regular thing. And there was also another weird thing where he was ill and dying towards the end of his life. And in order to rally him, she couldn't rally him, the Queen. His children couldn't, grandchildren couldn't, nobody could. So she thought, I'd know. I think it was Penny Knatchbull. Penny Knatchbull, Penny Rumsey. Why do they call her two names? Shh. Anyway, can I get on with it? The one that we're going to be talking about mainly in here. I don't know if she's the mother of his children or if that is somebody else, but there's definitely children out there. And they tried to get Penny in to rouse him, to, bring him back, give him some hope because his wife wasn't enough, his children weren't enough, and nothing was enough. So let's bring in the companion. Um, and then it went on to say about how, with restrictions on seats in churches and cathedrals at that time, and funerals and weddings, there was only a limited amount of people allowed at these events, and it was important to the Queen that Penny had a seat. Um, and I was, it's because obviously I read on this years ago, and I called it out years ago, and now it's coming to true. But honestly, genuinely, when you read something like that, you kind of hope it's not true that you're just having a moment, because that puts into question so much of the past, the present, and the future, and where we stand. Anyway, I've recently been reading this book here, and I'm really enjoying it. It was a gift from one of you guys. There you go. I've got the next two books. We ordered those offline. Was written in 1984. Nice, well-loved, well-written, well-read, well-loved copy, which I do love. I don't like posh books where they're all kept all pristine. I do like a book to tell a tale. Shh. Anyway, I'm halfway through it just. And in it, it's obviously about the Welsh royal family and the royal family and King John and everything. And there's a part in it where they're talking about the princess, well, the then Princess of Wales. I think she was classed as the first Princess of Wales. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can hear the keyboards going. But anyway, the Princess of Wales, not as in the Princess of Wales we have now, but a Princess of Wales is discussing with her father, King John's wife, the fact that in those circles it's well known and well accepted for men to have other lives and other children, and as long as they don't shove it under my nose, I'm fine with it. And it was just almost like this moment of, oh, really? That's where we've come from. Um, and actually, is that conducive to having healthy monarchs? Is it conducive to having a healthy royal family or political dynasty that comes from it as well? In political dynasties, this whole acceptance of an other life. Um, Surely, if what you've got there doesn't fulfill you, that should be the end of that before you start something else. Anyway, Prince Philip's secret life. Prince Philip's secret. I mean, we don't need to poll on whether he had one because it's quite obvious if you've done your research that he has got a secret life, or he did have when he was alive. Um, So let's have some cards on that. And this is the Tarot Grand Lux by Cairo Marchetti. And I'm also going to be looking at the Quantum Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. We've got one card flipped out, and I don't know what that is. So Prince Philip's Secret Life. What's this one? Eight of Swords, restrictions in his royal life. Also as well, the restrictive energy of the Queen, that the Queen wasn't very demonstrative. Um, Needing a word. And when I was tuning into this reading before I came on, I had this feeling anyway that yes, there was physical needs, emotional needs, mental needs, but there was also a need to have something outside of the royal family. Um, Five of Swords on the bottom in reverse, the internal conflicts, internal battles that couldn't be resolved. We've got the transition in reverse. We'll pull them, then read them. We've got the world upright. We've got Queen of Wands in reverse. The family. Seven of Cups, illusion. Interest. That's not the family, that's illusion. I was getting mixed up with this deck. Page of Swords. The Empress. Okay. Six, seven, one more. I think he's possibly got two sons or two children. Well, to say it's two children, but two sons possibly, away from the Queen. The restrictions that were in his marriage with the Queen. Um, the need to escape, as well as the need because he was an elite. Saying he is. He shouldn't be alive today, so they can't have cloned him or anything like that. Because like he's in his hundreds now if he's still alive anyway. Shh. um, unless he's incarnated again, back in the family or back wherever. The restrictions of that life and needing something else. I also wonder as well if he didn't live with her or have some live with the children or the child, because it just reminds me of the cottage in the woods energy that I talk about, where these role spouses, it's almost like a wish that they could, or not the cases, they do live in a cottage in the woods. They don't live in the main house, they live away, they live separately. Um, but I feel as well that it did spill into his official life with the Queen. Not official life, but well, official life and his private life. I'm feeling the issues within his own children, as in the legitimate children that he had, struggling to keep them separate. He was more. This is also, I'm also being told that the fact that his children couldn't have his name back then, the family couldn't have his name, that it was always the royal family. Yes, it was having his oats and whatever it is and eating it. that word, that phrase, having his cake and eat it, sowing his wild oats. Um, as the Queen stepped more and more into age, stepped more and more. That's interesting. Sorry, I'm numerous things here. Um, the Queen, when she was a young woman, was a really attractive young woman. I don't need to get your picture up of the Queen in her 20s because she was a beautiful woman. And those pictures are all over the place. You just need to Google them. She made a beautiful bride. She looked beautiful. She looked like a Hollywood star. But as she got older, she did age. Nothing wrong with aging before people run at me. But I'm feeling that he felt more attractive to the younger Elizabeth than the older Elizabeth, that he felt out of alignment with the older Elizabeth, and the more burdens that she took on with duty. Um, and also, as well, the fact he didn't like other men coming in. Hold on, before you run at me. I'm not going to say accuse the Queen of affairs, as in the courtiers. Um, and then his sons coming in. But the sad thing is with all of this, even though he was had this other life, he never had freedom. It wasn't even that wasn't enough. That there was a deep emptiness within Philip because of his bloodline, because of mental health issues, generational issues, expectations, that he could never fully be anywhere at one time. So even when he was with the Queen, he was thinking about the other woman or other women or the parties or the other children. Even when he was with them, the other people, he was always thinking about duty, responsibility. There was never a time in his life when he could be totally present. There was always an aspect of him being pulled in a different direction. The Queen knew from very early on that Philip was a handsome man and a man that had a reputation. It was a concern to Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, of this reputation, but the wedding still went ahead. It was no shock to her when stories started to trickle through. Oh, we did pull an oracle card for Philip's secret life. The wife and the mistresses were just as lonely as each other and were blocked because neither of them could go forward. Great gratitude and present power reminds me of the Empress card in this reading. So it reminds me of these two cards coming in together, duty and the natural world. There was something with Philip about the natural world, and I keep coming back to this energy of the cottage in the woods. Um, and being attractive and attracted to women who were free, who were liberated, who uncorseted. I know the Queen didn't wear corsets, but there's that in that stiffle. I mean, she was granddaughter, yes, to Queen Mary, and that generation. There was still that impact of that generation there. Um, it's that seesaw effect. So, Prince Philip and the secret children, his secret children. I'm seeing Anne, and Anne had a great fondness for her dad, and a fondness. I don't know if it was for one mistress or Penny, or there was a fondness she had for his children to the other women or other woman. At least one of the children she built a connection to. It's possibly still a connection that she's got to this day. Um, and that is also a life where she feels free, where she can just be would be an aunt, won't it? Or a sister, something like that. Aunt, sister, yeah, it would be an aunt. Um, great aunt. I'm also hearing from their perspective as an elitist perspective. It's not my perspective. Is a lot of these elites, it keeps them sane, even though they're not very far from sane, to have this escapism. Prince William and his secret children. I think possibly one of these children is ill or has been ill. Possibly even had a royal role or something. Not a royal as in a royal family member role, but as a role within the royal court. Prince Philip and his illegitimate children. Okay, again, we've got Seven of Pentacles. The truth at the bottom. Ace of Swords. There is another family out there. A Knight of Cups in reverse. So he's not the dashing knight that people think he was or thought he was. Um, I'd say there's even more, possibly that he doesn't even realize. I'm seeing children born to women that were possibly married, had these children but didn't want to make it official because of their own marriage. Um, Releasing restrictions. The Queen of Cups. The Magician in reverse. The Sadness and Despair. Hierophant, yes. Sorry, Emperor in reverse. The Dad in reverse. Him as a father. And Page of Swords. Now, this is quite hypocritical because I'm feeling his sons had an issue. You often find this in families, the very behaviour that the sons kick off over with their dads about, they actually become it. So a lot of men that will kick off in these circumstances about dad having other children or illegitimate children or affairs will go on to do the same. Those role children never had a full-time dad because he was always distracted either with duties. Um, let's have a card from here. He was quite demeaning, Philip, and he was quite demeaning to the Queen because he used to call her cabbage or something. Um, Quite demeaning to his children, whether they're legitimate or illegitimate. Prince Philip and his children, honouring the path and new beginnings again. Baby in the woods, honouring the path. And actually, as well, I'm picking up a really ick energy here of it was kind of expected. And is expected in those circles to have a family. What I'm being told by Spirit is their marriages are very different in some cases, or some cases not actually. In some cases out there, I mean, affairs happen all the time. But in these aristocracy marriage, role marriages, they marry certain people for certain things. Um, for position, for power, because this woman could be dutiful. And it's well known that you marry that person, then you go and have a life off somewhere else. So this is nothing new in their circles. When it goes wrong is when women from outside come in and, or even women like Diana that were born into it, actually say, I'm not going to put up with this. Um, so he's actually, in their eyes, not done anything wrong. That's what you do. So this is another level of it. How did the Queen? Let's gather up these cards. Anything else for the This Queen of Cups. Can I have a clarifying for this? I'm feeling it. I know this sounds a bit, but anyway, he had a crush on Francis Sean Kidd. I don't know if there's anything happened there, um, but there's something here with Francis Sean Kidd, the Queen of Cups. Clarifier, please. And the Ace of Cups in reverse. Seven of Swords trickery. I mean, I don't know if he ever has had an affair. Prince Philip and Francis Sean Kidd. Prince Philip, I mean, God, God. Well, he did it with Fergie's mum, didn't he, apparently? Oh. Prince Philip and Francis Sean Kidd. Temperance. Oh, yeah. Barbara, do you think she's saying that Diana could? I'm not. I am actually not. That is me joking. I don't think that Diana is Phillips. That would be sick, even for royal standards. But I'm sensing something here with him and Francis Sean Kidd. Now, this could be, it definitely feels as though he's had an inkling towards her, at least fancied her, wanted a bit. How far he has gone with that, but there's also another connection here, and it's through the Ruth Fermoys. It's the Fermoys, isn't it? Wasn't there a first lady, not a first? Oh, he slept with the first lady apparently. Anyway, um, he's the first lady as well. I wonder if he liked Jackie. Oh, this is bloody. So Francis Sean Kidd, Jackie Kennedy, and Prince Philip. Jeez. The moon, illusion, internal world. What did Prince Philip think of Jackie Kennedy? Ice Maiden energy there, so I don't think it's Jackie. There's a first lady connection. Anyway, back to Francis Sean Kidd. I think this comes through. So I think there's an attraction there. I also think there's something to do with the Fermoys. So um the Fermoy family. I'll let you do your research into the. I mean, the Fermoys was Diana's mum's family. I mean, how old was Francis Shund Kid? God, Francis Shund Kid. Oh, she comes straight up. 1936 to 2004. There's a connection there. Prince Philip. No, because I did think I wonder if Francis Shand Kid could be his daughter. No, the numbers don't match up. But Francis Shand Kid's mother. Pour yourself a drink. Francis Shand Kid's mother. Ruth Roach. Or is it the Ruth Roaches? Is it the Roche? Baroness Fermoy, Maurice Roche, Baron Fermoy. Ruth Roche. Roche. So this, I think, is obviously Diana's grandmother. This is Francis Sean Kidd's mother. There's something here. Um, with these Fermoys Roches. Roche. Apologies if I've said the name wrong. Um, there's some connection there, and obviously Diana was aware of it. What were Diana's feelings about this? I mean, royals do marry cousins and relatives and stuff. Um, what did Diana think of Philip and this connection to her matriarchal line? Wasn't happy about it. The Queen of Coins at the bottom and the Four of Wands in reverse. Burden to be carried. Somebody rewarded for something. Interesting. Anyway, let's have a look at what the Queen was. I wasn't expecting that. I tells you. Barbara Cartland books as well. Apparently Barbara Cartland's hinted at it. I know I've never read a Barbara Cartland. Was part of me gets a bit tempted now and again to pick one up for a bit of lightness from the world. But there's Barbara Cartland hinted at it in her novels. What did Queen Elizabeth II think of Philip's otherworld, his affairs, children, etc.? What did she think of it? What did Queen Elizabeth think of it? Queen Elizabeth think of it? Hurt deeply. Knight of Coins in reverse. For although these women are trained to accept it and conditioned to accept it, it never stops it hitting deep. That the whole thing of welcoming them into the fold, being photographed with them, invite them into the home, was to try and keep some type of control on it, to keep face. But there was a deep wounding within the Queen, which is one of the reasons why she felt comfort in Andrew and spoiling Andrew. Um, and it's one of the reasons why she became such a problematic mother with, especially with sons, and why she couldn't guide them properly because, sticks and no, not sticks and stones, glass houses and all of that. Um, Four of Cups in reverse. No, sorry, what is it? Six of Cups in reverse. The childhood. Childhood in reverse. Come back to that. Too much to bear. Judgment. She was aware of it. She kept an eye on him. I've got a vision of her at a desk and one of her equerries is coming forward and giving her the latest intel of where he's been and what he's done. A real drive to keep it hidden, especially in their lifetimes. The tower, so it doesn't implode. Temperance and balance and get on with it. Um, Seven of Pentacles. As long as he showed up when she needed him to show up, it's fine. The Hermit in reverse. The King of Coins in reverse. I heard the words, but he went one step too far with it. They became more like siblings. Something with his death as well. Either she wasn't at his death and the other woman was, um, or that they were both around the bed. dealing with legacy wills and making sure that the other woman, children got what they needed. Those of cards have just flipped out. Too many to read. Ooh, what's that though? Milestone, a wedding. Oh. Do a Queen Victoria did he? And he's actually secret divorced and he married somebody. Shh, Claire, God. Joyous fun, fragmented energy. So this is the Queen's perspective of it, not feeling whole. Him going off and having this other life, this other way of escaping royal duties. Her obligations, being at sea with it. Um, the card of increase, and there's the palace in the front. And the long road down to the palace. What are those colourful things? They're like crystals. It's the cycle card. Keep them. Two more cards. Creative endeavour. Friends and colleagues. So she invites them in. Lets them become part of her family. Part of her marriage. She invites them to the palace. She invites them to the callous. Callous. Interesting. Very callous. It's callous to do with that, actually. I think it's all dark, to be quite honest. But she invites them to the castles, the palaces, to celebrate, to create something. That's just what you do. There's multiple sides to everyone. But this side of the old queen that I'm coming into is um making it work for her. I'm feeling it gave her time away from Philip to enjoy her life, enjoy her pastimes. Um, she's possibly a woman that, had she been a normal everyday woman, possibly wouldn't have got married. Um, I know it's not Balmoral, but but I've been to Balmoral. I know. It was, sh- um, and that reminds me of the River Dee at Balmoral. Did the Queen have someone that she could escape to? Queen Elizabeth II, Rebecca Camilla Ross. Shh, Claire. Rebecca Camilla Ross. Um, anyway, back to Elizabeth II. Did Elizabeth II have something she could escape to? Family, optimism. Couple more cards. You hire yourself the church, her family, the royal family, not as in loving mother family, stuck energy in the royal family. They always say that that's the difference, is the royal family and the family, but I don't think there's much family going on, especially not now. There's a lot going on there, a lot of fallings out. So the Queen possibly didn't have anyone that if she did, it was very under wraps. I mean, that can be another video we can look at, that the Queen's other life, but in this one, it's higher self, it's the church, the block, hands are tied, family duty, responsibility. Um, yes, interesting. What did this? Let's just read on him and Penny. Why am I not reading him and Penny Knatchbull? I'm sure it's Penny Knatchbull. A very attractive woman, actually. Philip and Penny Knatchbull. Just let me make sure it's the correct woman, because there will be a picture of her on the thumbnail, but I just want to make sure because, Penny Knatchbull. Penny Knatchbull, not Knatchbull. Pe- Penelope Knatchbull, Countess Mountbatten of Burma. Very attractive woman. Ooh, I just looked at her and I didn't see her. Look at that picture. Ooh, what's going on here? Ooh, get off. Um, I'm seeing her as medieval with the, is it Woodville? Is it Elizabeth Woodville? Is she Elizabeth Woodville? Then she's got the veil there, but I'm seeing her with the cone and the beautiful woman. What her inside is like, I don't know. Very remarkably gorgeous dress. I'm not gushing over. I'm just saying she's a beautiful woman. Not as beautiful as that one though. Um, that's her, I think, at one of the funerals, either the Queen's funeral or Philip's. Still a beautiful woman. Um, Woodville. Right, what we doing? Philip and Penelope. Energy between Philip and Penelope in their lifetime together. I'm feeling it was a burden for her. And I'm feeling it's almost like she molds into different women that have been mistresses that find themselves, especially the ones I'm hearing. I'm hearing there's a difference between if it met and made a full-time mistress of an actress or a call girl or something like that, or someone from a lower class. Not my words, okay? They could be more in love with him or the idea of being in love with the prince and being saved. With women of equal rank to him or equalish rank that really don't need him to have a position, it can feel more like a burden. Um, that she feels stuck as well. That's not saying there wasn't a deep friendship there, but as a woman, even the fact that she is a Mountbatten means it's kept in the family. And we know what the Mountbattens are like, don't we? If you've been following this channel for some time. Um, Penelope and Philip. Okay, payment fulfilled. Very powerful. Eight of Cups. I'm wondering if Penelope was Elizabeth Woodville and he was that he'd have been King Edward, Philip. Um so as I'm reading this, I know the cards are medieval, but even like it feels like we're going into some different timelines here. Ten of Coins in reverse, a self-worth, lack of self-worth. She felt the stigma of it. Five of Swords in reverse. Itchy nose. A Prince of Coins. Has she got children? She will have children, won't she? Right. Let's go back. Right, right. She got children. Nicholas Knatchbull, Lord Brabourne, Lady Alexandra Hooper, the Hon Leonora Knatchbull. Don't say what their names. Ooh, Meredith. Ooh, we channeled someone called Meredith from the future on the other channel. No, this is a different one. No, this is a different one. I want a different one here. This isn't the one. Why is it Penny Natural? Oh God. What's going on here? Why am I getting a different one? I don't understand. I don't understand. Penny Natchball. can't find. Oh, children. Wait a minute. Yeah. 1953, that's her. Oh, children are here. Leonora. Nicholas, Leonora. Let's have a look at the pictures. Oh, was born 25th of June. So, yeah. Who died? October. Oh, she looks like Philip. If that's her, apologies if it's not, I'm just being a randomer. But she's got a look of Philip. Entertainment purposes only, no, she has a look of Philip. You hear a lot of these about royal children and royal, and usually I'm like, but she 1986, died 1991. She's got a look of a young Prince Philip. You know the young pictures of him as a young boy. Um, and then we've got Alexandra Knatchbull. Not sure about this one. I didn't know that. Here he is, good old Charlie boy. See, it's just very all very straight. Even that's very maybe I'll take that back. Maybe you know what I mean? Because they're keeping it in the family. Um, right. Let's go back again. Nicholas Knatchbull. Who was he? He's 1981, and he's here. So I'm just. So these must be the three children then. Yeah, he's got a look of the young Philip. Interesting, interesting. Whoa, what were we even pulling on? um, Ace of Cups in reverse. So not fulfilled emotionally, not fulfilled mentally. Duty calls. It was a duty. Hands are tied, needing to release those restrictions. And Two of Cups in reverse. There's a real, I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm feeling her energy feels uncomfortable around this. Um, Vast universe, joyous fun. That nearly came out earlier, and I was shuffling too quickly and couldn't bring it out. Um, over time and space, many different incarnations together. What's Penny Knatchbull, Elizabeth Woodville? Penny Knatchbull, Elizabeth Woodville. Penny Knatchbull. 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 Yes. Yeah. Judgment, clearing. Ace of coins. Boom. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, interesting. So, one more poll, and it's for the collective. What can we, as people that have watched the royal family since the day we were born, and were able to watch and show an interest in these things, what can we gain? What wisdom can we gain from this going forward as the collective starts to awaken, to ascend, to heal, to transcend, to step into sovereignty and community sovereignty? What guidance, wisdom, inspiration does the light have in dealing with this in our society and going forward from it? Queen of Swords, cutting ties to it. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you that one. That's the Ten of Swords, anxiety in reverse, releasing anxiety, releasing the stress and anxiety and mental conflict over it for ourselves, because this is deep, dark, and dangerous, icky, icky, icky stuff that we can look at and talk about and discuss, but not lose ourselves in. It's a time when the divine feminine is rising and stepping out of this Queen of Swords energy, where the Queen of Swords, in relation to being very blunt and ruthless and cold, because the Queen of Swords, if she isn't channeled correctly, can be very Queen Elizabeth II, very, stoic and stiff upper lip, which is not what the Divine Feminine wants for you. She wants you to feel, okay? The sadness that all women carry from previous incarnations, from generation, from times when you've had past relationships, current relationships, where this kind of stuff's gone on, releasing the feminine wounding. And knowing as well that wives and mistresses have this feminine wounding. They carry it in different ways. They carry it in the same ways. The clearing to not get stuck in it. To get our magic back. That we're not meek and mild. This is the moon, the female, the feminine. Two more cards, the Page of Wands, final card, and the Fool. Many women are still stuck in this for various different reasons, in various different ways. And right now, people are well ready to move forward through this, but many people are still in this and still working their way through this from many different aspects, and that's fine. This next card apparently is going to complete this part of the reading. Great gratitude and new supportive connections. So rather than saying we're moving out of that, we're rising up. Right now, every woman on this planet is dealing with this. In relation to in some cases, you're dealing with affairs. In some cases, you are the person having the affair. In some cases, it could have been father, grandfather, mother. So it's in the generational line, it's in past lives line. If you're a woman, you also carry that wounding. You carry that wounding as a woman and being seen as an object. So we are healing this. We are unraveling it. But there's no rush. Take your time. This isn't a race. The feminine is dealing with some very deep, 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 penetrative wounds. And at the minute, many feminines don't want to rise up. They want to hermit and protect themselves. And that's fine. And that's allowed. But great gratitude for all that you're learning. Mwah. I showed you that book, didn't I? That's the book I'm reading at the minute. Right. There's a playlist on here called Historical Raw Tarot. Check it out. Have a follow. Have a look. Next group healing is the 16th and 17th of December, end of year group healing. Clearing all this year's energies to get us ready for next year. Don't miss out on that. Details down below. Yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you. Let me know in the comments, do you think Penny's an attractive woman? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. And yes, it's a strange one, isn't it? I don't know. No, I won't pull a card on whether that child that I thought is, because yeah, it's a child, isn't it? Who knows? Who knows? But yes. Thanks for watching. Bye.